Let's consider what it is we're talking about here. The House sponsor of the legislation has said herself that our goal is to destroy that illegal street market that makes our communities less safe. Our goal is not to bring in some massive fortune that's going to solve all the problems of the world, because it's not. She said that today on the floor. That being said, we are in a condition where reducing or removing penalties for cannabis possession without regulating production and sale simply rewards the one group that is most able to rush in and fill out the demand, the very criminal element that we're trying to eliminate. In an article published in March in National Review, the author makes a pretty good point that free market capitalism unleashes awesome forces. The quest for ever greater profits stimulates innovation in products and production processes, yielding a wider range of cheaper and more effective products in which consumers can indulge and sometimes overindulge. That's a blessing in the case of 99% of products, but not all. The article goes on to say that an intermediate step between allowing full-blown open market would be to issue licenses for production and sale to nonprofit entities or co-ops with boards constituted to protect public health and with charters that limit their mission to meet existing demand, thus undercutting the illicit market but not promoting greater consumption. Legalizing a for-profit industry is a one-way street. Once we do it, there'll be no going back, and we run the risk of opening up a whole new set of problems. Prudence dictates that we walk before we start to run. Legalization is not a binary choice. There are varying degrees along which we can legalize production and sale without putting it in the hands of companies whose sole reason of being is to expand the market for their product. An intermediate step is fully called for and can fully be done. Even though Colorado has had legal sales since 2012, they're still establishing baseline evidence to determine the effects of legalization. There's a cautionary note in the October 2018 report from the Colorado Division of Criminal Justice that states, "The information presented here should be interpreted with caution. The majority of the data should be considered baseline and preliminary, in large part because data sources vary considerably in terms of what exists historically. Consequently, it is difficult to draw conclusions about the potential effects of marijuana legalization and commercialization on the public, safety, health, or youth outcomes." This suggestion would, I think, argue in favor of a sensible middle way. I want to see this illegal market shut down as well, but I believe a well-constructed and enforced regulatory scheme that limits its reach to doing it would be a pretty good way to do it. After 10 years or so, let's see what happens and then decide whether to go full legally.
Final sentence, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If after 10 years or so of hard evidence we find that our fears of increased use with all the attendant social fallout that accompanies it have been unfounded, then we can expand for a for-profit market. After all, what is the rush? I urge at this point a no vote because of this one issue alone. Thank you.